Forget about it. I'm talking to my New Yorkers. How's it going, everybody? Ethan Reyes here, Real Expert Consulting. And up next, we're going to explain the differences between cooperative homes and condos. If you didn't know it before, downstate here, Westchester County, and the 5 boroughs of New York City, cooperative and condo homes are pretty popular. It's usually the more affordable option in average price per square foot in comparison to single or multi-family homes. Because this option seems more attractive to the New Yorker, and especially because, well, the city New Yorker, because the city is so costly, often it's a big thread as to which one is better and what is what. This could be a little confusing, so I'm going to try to simplify it and break it up into 3 parts. We're going to break it off into the type of ownership, what are the similarities and differences, and lastly, resalability. Let's just jump into the type of ownership. When it comes to cooperative apartments, you do not own real property. What you do own are shares in what's called a corporation. The building actually is consolidated into a corporation, and then it's split up by shares of those that can be purchased and sold. As taxes are concerned, they're actually rolled into your maintenance that is split individual to the type of apartment that you have. So it's share taxes split among the owners. When it comes to condo properties, it is real property, whether it's in a building or a small little complex. Because it's real property, you do have taxes that you pay on individually and specifically to your unit. And that's in addition to your monthly maintenance and insurance and mortgage, of course. Let's tap into some differences and similarities. What's also similar to co-ops and condos is that they do have shared ownership or share rights to the common spaces. You might be aware of or need to be aware of is that most cooperatives require board interview. That board interview thus needs a board approval to own or sell a property. This can be tricky because your purchase or sale is completely dependent on a group of people who can just vote no on the prospect. Before voting happens, they're looking to dive into the financial and work stability of a prospect or prospects. And they're looking to find out what exactly is their lifestyle to see if it will fit in line with the community that they've constructed in these co-op buildings. And each co-op board and co-op standard is completely different, but there is a general rule of thumb, and it's a real tricky thing if your real estate agent isn't really experienced as to what co-op boards are looking for, both on the sale and buy side of a real estate transaction when it comes to co-ops. Condos makes it a lot easier as, yes, the building or complex often has a board of trustees, but there isn't usually, in most cases, any board interview to have to depend on, whether on the purchase or buy side. To add on to the differences is, yeah, cooperative apartments may be a little bit more difficult to acquire. It's just on average a whole lot cheaper than condos here in downstate New York. Condos are pretty much almost $100,000 more for the same exact size of apartment. This can be a good or bad thing, and it depends on your threshold of privacy. Another similarity to go ahead and kind of pay attention to and really focus, because each building is different. Each building and complex has what are called bylaws, and those bylaws have specific rules against everything. But more importantly, because this is often a question I get, can I rent out my unit? For the most part, co-op communities are not at all investor friendly. Each building operates differently, but just for a general sense, it's usually asked that or written that a shareholder must reside in their place for 2 years before renting out the unit. And they may have even stipulations for how many years the apartment can be rented before having to return to the unit. Condo communities, in a general sense, are far more flexible with this rental ability. However, each building has their different guidelines. Some buildings may go for it, some buildings may not. What your job is to perform your due diligence and ask these questions ahead of time before getting into any contract. Piggybacking off of similarities, both condos and co-ops have the ability to go ahead and renovate. There is a myth understanding that co-ops, oh, they don't allow you to renovate. I can't improve my apartment. Everything can be renovated in a apartment to your liking. However, co-op boards and condo boards alike just want to ensure you're not interrupting or disrupting the integrity, structural integrity of not only the site, but the property or apartments of your neighbors. This is my favorite. You're interviewing for a real estate agent to sell your apartment. Give me a call. Don't be scared about resalability. You do have the ability to profit on your property if there is any profit to be made, depending on the market, depending on when you bought and how you bought it, along with the renovations. You may have already made profit off of renting for the number of years that you were able to rent the apartment, and in some cases Airbnb. Now, as you prepare to sell the co-ops, yes, your sale is completely contingent upon board approval. Condos, it's fair game. With all that I shared with you today begs the question, which one is better, Ephraim, co-op or condo? Quite simply, the answer is up to you. It's what your preference is. Whether you'd pay more money for privacy, what your goals are, if it's investment opportunity, is it to stabilize yourself from the ever so increasing rental rates here in New York City. All these little different reasons are up to you and your current situation and your lifestyle at the moment, and also your financial position. In my personal opinion, both units are great starter. I'm going to co-op myself. That was a personal tidbit, and that's not to sway you in any which way or direction. Again, everything is up to you, and I hope I've informed you well enough to make the best decision for you and your loved ones. If this video offered you any value whatsoever, be sure to smash the like button, share and subscribe, but in times like these, most of all, be well.